Well, good morning. This is Both Sides of the Barricade, episode 12. And it's been a while. We left off about 6 months ago now, it looks like, with me starting to get away from the bands, get away from the duos, the trios. You know, all the gigs that I was doing in St. Pete Beach were backing up people, which was fun because even in karaoke, that's what I was doing, was backing up singers, on the drums, of course. And that's kind of the catalyst that got me to start doing a one-man band gig. And, fast forward, here we are, 2021, coming up on 3 years of solid one-man band material. Over these last few years, I grew that into over 400 songs in my repertoire. You know what? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the fact that cover bands are the lifeblood of the music industry. That may sound incorrect, but if you're a music artist, you start out by, if you were a comedian, you start out doing impressions a lot. If you're a music artist, you start out playing covers. You start out playing other people's songs that you love, and songs that the audience already knows. And that's key to the music industry and the ability to generate funds around performance is A, being able to play songs that the audiences already know, and B, trying to find a new way to deliver those songs in your performance. And that's fun because after a while, a lot of the songs may get stale to you as an artist. They may just get old and boring. I started out with like 800 songs that I wanted to do, and I've whittled them down to 400, and now I perform a solid 100 in rotation. And the thing is I want to perform the others, but you just don't have the time. So you end up starting to, gravitate towards the ones that you really love or the ones that just feel right. And then there's those moments where, you'll just pull one, out of the bag there that you haven't touched in 6-7 months. And, that's always fun because it's challenging to keep your skills up with these songs that you may not have performed in a while. So this music industry is getting wild. Let's go back 50 years to like the heyday of the Beatles, the Stones. You can even fast forward from then to like Van Halen, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Pretty much everybody that that has written hits were, before they were original artists, were cover bands. Everybody. That's how this business works. That's how they get good at writing pop songs, is because they played and performed popular music long before they ever wrote their original. So the disheartening thing about this industry, and I even hate to call them the music industry, because the music industry should actually be comprised of people who play music for a living, not administrators and executives and jabronis. We're going to keep calling them out. We're going to keep saying what they are. They're video gamers. They're not musicians. They're somebody who loves music but doesn't know how to play it but wants to make a living off of it. I get that. I worked in music. At least I was brave enough to actually work in music at the show. That's what music is. Anything else is just not. To hinder or keep money in the pockets, keep lining the pockets of those administrators and those non-musical people. They have to keep changing the rules and the laws to allow them to extract more money. Why would they do that? Well, the recording industry, as everyone knows, quit selling CDs due to the internet. So you got to look at their margin is based on a material product and a price point that they can extract, in the distribution channel, in the supply chain. That no longer exists, so those funds no longer exist. But the people that are in these office buildings want to continue to exist. They want to continue to have a life, and let's just say it, they're chickens. They're scared to go out and start their own thing, whether in music or not. They're scared to follow their passion. That's why they're working in the music industry, because they get this jolt of, being around people who do follow their passion. I know. I was there. Well, to keep making money and to keep, their livelihood going, the rules keep changing. Because going back to the what I was saying about these cover bands, Van Halen, Tom Petty, the Heartbreakers, Beatles, Stones, everybody. They played covers. Look at the Beatles. They were in Berlin, right? Playing in a club, just getting their chops right. The Eagles did the same thing. They went to Colorado, and yeah, they're writing songs, but they're not writing songs at the venue that they're playing. They're playing songs that people know. Then they're going home inspired by that performance and write their own material. This is the path of a music artist. You perform before you record. And that's because performance has been the way people get music their whole life. It wasn't until like the 70s and 80s when the industry started to call live music. It was just music. So the recording industry has to set that demarcation of there's recordings and there's live. So they lose money in recordings, and what do? They go through legalese, through changing terms in the law. They call recordings performances. So if you perform something that has been recorded, which has also been copyrighted now through their lobbyists, the RIAA and the Copyright Board, it's all a mess, especially with the internet. That's why we're in these constant changes and no one knows up from down. And all these idiots at streaming, every single one of them, listen to the recording industry. An industry that faltered, failed, and had to, let go a lot of their staff, are being picked up by the new technology to help bolster the technology that's interactive. These people aren't. Labels aren't involved in shows. They don't go to shows. Tour support's always been the smallest amount. Now marketing's the highest amount of any record deal. So these people that aren't at the shows are trying to figure out ways to capitalize and take money from the shows. This is the 360 deal that y'all are hearing about. So labels have no interest. They have no invested interest in live performance because they're a record industry. But they need to make money now. So what do? They put a tax on live. And I wrote a hit about this. It's on here. It's called The Hoodwink. That tax on live is what's going to be the crux of the music industry and the record industry. You can call them what you want, but recordings are not music. Music is music, and recordings are promo for the show. Yes, we all are introduced 90% of the time to a song by way of a recording. But if you're a true fan of music, you don't stop there. You go to the show. Because you can look at a pamphlet for Switzerland and it looks wonderful, but you have no idea what it's like until you get there. And recordings are the same way. They do stir some emotion in you. They make you cry, they make you swoon, but you know what? When you're at a concert and everyone's feeling that vibe and everyone's biorhythms are in sync to the music, there's nothing that can replace that. So my argument and I'll debate with anyone. I'll debate with the best lawyer. Send them my way. You can't call a recording a performance. And the reason why is because everyone's performance is original, even as a cover band. It's original, but it's a copy. Okay, fine. So there's like a weird blurred line there between something that's live and original because it's my voice. I may sing a different lyric. I may, deliver it a different way than the artist did. But yet as long as the audience can still recognize that it's a song that they know and can sing along and dance to, then we have a healthy industry. But what the industry is doing is scaring business owners with the new live tax. And the business owners now, they're using Spotify Business or Pandora Business. They're paying licenses above what our normal subscription would be. I think it's $20 for Spotify Business for your brick and mortar business to play recordings. And that covers the licensing, and Spotify, however they pull the funds together, it's all garbage. Send money to BMI and ASCAP, and no one knows who's doing anything, and they don't care as long as they get their money. That is the problem. These people have no invested interest in what's exactly going on, but their dollars are still coming in, so, they're fine. They don't care. Well, I love you, Kanye, but when you say you don't want people to lose their jobs, you are actually just propping up this fraudulent industry. People are going to have to lose their jobs. Labels had to fire people when their model didn't work. This model that we have now doesn't work, so people will lose their jobs. This is survival of the fittest. This is evolution in its purest form. Now, they're coming after us. They're going to try and make every artist that wants to perform a song live pay before they perform it. So let's say, the Beatles did Elvis tunes in Berlin, Germany. There is no history of them paying money to play those songs for the crowds. Now, because record labels are losing money, or not anymore, they're siphoning it off through Spotify equity and fan subscriptions. Now that the record labels are in this mode where they're trying to capture every bit of funds they can, they're calling these recorded, copyrighted materials, they're calling them a reconstruction when it's done live for an audience. Now, I'm not recording these and selling them, as back in the day you would have to pay mechanical royalties if you wanted to cover a song, put out a CD of covers, blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing that. I'm literally going to a brick and mortar that's already paying. 90% of them are probably paying Spotify Business. If not, they're just playing Spotify, which who cares? The money's so convoluted over there anyhow that it doesn't matter if someone's playing a personal account at a business or vice versa or what have you. The record labels just keep getting all the money. The artists aren't getting the money. So why do they keep hindering the artists from making money? So they can make money, even though they're not the artists. I don't even want to call out names because there's so many and we don't have time. But just take the whole record industry in total. From radio promotions, the executives, the marketing, the digital, there is no one in there with a touring mindset or a live mindset, but yet the 360 deals want to take money from touring. And ASCAP wants to take money from live performances that are copyrighted. What? Why? Because it's someone else's songs? You think Stevie Wonder's going to be mad if I do Signed, Sealed, Delivered? It's an honor. Artists know it's an honor. The only people that are making a fuss are the people that aren't playing music for a living, but need to get paid from people who do play music for a living. These are the only people that are interested in taxing live performance. So you got this triple tax. Some call it a double tax, but it's actually a triple tax. So the venue's paying a recording license to play recorded music. All right? If they do live music now, they have to pay an extra license. They have to pay a license for live. Even though it's the same frickin' song. Same crowd, same location. Two licenses, two taxes. Okay? Here, let's bring in the third, the artist. If we come in and perform, they want us to pay it too. So the venue's paying it, the artist is paying it, the same songs at the same location for the same people being taxed twice in the live side. Then you got the tax on the recording. So there's 3 taxes to play music, and all these people that are taxing you don't play music. So we're coming to a head with this, because what's going to happen is karaoke bars will start to revolt. The number one performance-based, interactive crowd experience with music is karaoke. These are recordings of someone else's copyrighted material, some BS. But if Jane Doe wants to sing a song by Taylor Dane at the next karaoke spot, if that venue isn't paying, because see, there's a mix of live now. There's a person original singing, because it's their voice, to a song that someone else did. In a live setting. This is not a recorded setting, but they're calling recordings performances. They're calling performances recordings. It's semantics. This is not a recording. So why does the record industry have anything to do with it? They want to tax you for singing karaoke. And it's coming. It's already here, actually. I'm dealing with venues on a regular that are scared of the music mafia, which is BMI and ASCAP, and all you jabronis out there that make money from us but don't do what we do. You ain't taking from my money. You ain't taking my funds. Get your hands out my pockets. Oh, well, what you're doing is illegal and wrong, and you're not supposed... Why don't you ask the artist who wrote that if what I'm doing is illegal and wrong? Why has the industry decided to continue to inject itself in what we do? This coalition of artists is coming. It's coming. It's going to happen through technology, but it will sideswipe all these jabronis and idiots who are trying to make funds off of what we do. And you're scaring businesses. Businesses don't want to bring in live music, so now the audiences don't even... You know what? I was at a venue, quick sidebar, with a very musical name. They have musical instruments in their logo. Instruments in their logo. Not a CD, not an 8-track, but instruments. What does that tell you? Live. Okay, so I'm at this venue. I asked them about doing music. They said, you know what, because it's COVID, we're not going to do it until full capacity, and we're only going to do original music because they don't want to have to pay the live tax or the recorded tax, but they're in there playing their jukebox all day long. So y'all see the problem here. And technology is going to fix it. And we're going to get around it. Because the audience wants to sing karaoke. The audience wants to listen to cover bands. All this is generating funds and helps bands like the Beatles and the Stones, the Eagles and Tom Petty, Van Halen cut their chops to become those names and those original writers of the songs that we know and love. So don't get it twisted. This is 2021, and music still leads this world. It's America's #1 cultural export. It's the reason our culture is up in arms. It's the reason George Floyd was recognized by the rest of the world. He wasn't musical. Nobody was black. And think about it. 13% of America is black, but the majority of the music that we export to the world, I guarantee you, is black soul music, rap, hip-hop, funk, R&B. It's timeless. It's classic. It's our country's culture. Rock and roll, hip-hop, jazz. And And these people want money for not playing music. Y'all are crazy. It ain't happening.